Welcome to Buzzn The Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s and the 1990s. I'm Mo Shapiro, and I am joined by Max Sanders. It's too damn hot for a penguin to be walking around. I gotta send him back to the South Pole. I'm so proud of you. Today we're talking about Billy Madison, and Max is ready to go. Oh, I see how it is.
Oh, really, Swan?
Proceed. Max, welcome to the show.
I need a cocktail.
I'm gonna need you to take that mask off,
Okay.
or we're not gonna make it through this episode. But great work on the costume, Max. And then you have no fingers.
I don't. It's very difficult.
No. The struggle is gonna make for great footage.
It's too damn hot.
It's too damn hot.
Hold on. My computer. Okay, there we go. Good.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I can scroll down.
I'm going to give you a lot of leeway on messing up today, because if you just hold your hands up so you can get a good look, you have no fingers available.
Nope. Who made these costumes?
I don't know, Max.
How'd you get candy?
It fits you perfectly.
Yeah.
I assume you enjoy the shirt that I'm wearing
Go
today.
Lions!
So although neither of these are from our friends at 80stees.com, they remain our biggest supporter and our sponsor. So a shout out to 80stees.com. And Max, welcome to the Billy Madison show.
I'm so excited.
When we talked about going to 90s movies,
Yeah.
there was this short list that you and I both had. Billy Madison was high up there, right?
Well, it was more the dumb comedy, the Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, Billy
Yeah.
Madison, Happy Gilmore, like that sphere.
Yeah.
Whatever we could pick out of it.
This is our sweet spot.
Yeah.
This is where you and I live.
And it overjoyed me how incredibly ahead of its time and really joyous this movie is watching.
Yeah,
again.
I've never been someone to look at any type of art, performance, humor, satire.
Where are you going with this?
I don't get judgy about it.
Yeah.
I don't get highbrow. I'm not Siskel and Ebert. I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, when she stepped on the ball." I've always appreciated this. Whether I was 10 years old, I remember seeing Wayne's World in the theater and being like, "This is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah. Car.
Car. None of these movies to me ever felt. All these SNL movies always felt great to me.
Yeah, even Night of the Roxbury.
Which
Like
is-
lower
yeah,
end
oh,
ones.
I loved it, and I was like, and I tipped my hat just like this.
so.
I screw that up every time, just like
Emilio.
so. Emilio. Max, welcome to the show. A reminder, I'll always tell people, obviously, at Buzzn The Tower is our handle for all social media. Check out our website, buzznthethower.com, where you can get officially licensed merchandise. We don't have penguin suits. We need one of those.
Buzzn The Tower.
That'd be amazing. Patreon.com. The support that we get from our Patreon is what pays for all of this lovely equipment and penguin suits. We're up to our noses in penguin suits.
Well, no, I returned them for free.
That's great. Let's not. It's great evidence for Amazon to have. But I really want to push all of you. Head over to YouTube and subscribe, because that's blowing up. We just did a short the other day that had a couple thousand views on it. Between TikTok and YouTube, that's how we'll take over the world.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I see our smiling faces.
You seem excited.
Yeah.
You seem very, for a man in a penguin suit, you seem very
I don't
excited.
know if I looked unhappy, people could see it now.
That's so true.
Yeah. I can't cry. I can't cry.
I can't be as mean to you either, because it used to be in our episodes, I'd go into you pretty hard and I'd see the life drop out of your face, and I realized that's not going to play well on YouTube.
Yeah, it's weird seeing yourself on camera.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah.
I look strange sometimes. My posture sucks.
Yeah, you do have terrible posture.
Yeah, you look taller than me.
I know. And you're 6'8", I'm 6 foot.
I know.
All right.
You're not 6 foot. You're 5'11".
I will get a ruler out and show you I'm 6 feet
A
tall.
ruler?
Yeah, I have a 6 foot ruler.
Do you really?
None of your business. A tape measure.
What do you use
probably
that
works.
for?
Don't worry about it. It's to check things out. Max, today we're talking about Billy Madison. We're going to hop right into it. I'm going to give a quick synopsis of the movie, and then I want facts, talk about scenes, favorite parts, maybe even tinker with a little recasting, and that's what we do on the show.
Yeah.
That's how we are.
I love it.
That's how we roll. So, my penguin-y friend, this is a movie about a man-child, Billy Madison, played by Adam Sandler, and he has been a spoiled rich kid all of his life. He spends his days drinking and partying. I don't have reading that.
And pickle throwing.
This is the Max Sanders story.
Pickle throwing.
This is definitely the Max Sanders story.
Jack Nicholson, 1974. Jack Nicholson now.
When his father, hotel magnate Brian, played by Darren McGavin, becomes fed up with his son's irresponsible ways, he issues an ultimatum. Since Billy passed all his schooling thanks to his father's influence and bribes, he must retake and pass every grade in 24 weeks. Otherwise, the business will be turned over to Brian's conniving associate, Eric, played by Bradley Whitford.
So good.
So good. That's Billy Madison. Let me start with this. Box office.
Yep, $25.8 million on a $10 million budget.
So not crazy.
But like good for these comedies didn't exist until him
Adam
and
Sandler kind of brought him about.
Yeah, and
right?
Jim Carrey came about.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey was even it was even more different. Jim Carrey was never crude. Like this is like
You think so?
Well, I mean, look, I'm trying to think like Dumb and Dumber.
He's talking through his butt.
Yeah, but that's not like this is like crude.
Yeah,
right?
like the old woman pornography stuff.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, we could honestly go scene by scene. I'll say this. When you learn more about the behind the scenes of this, it's interesting to me how many people hated Adam Sandler. Like nobody wanted him to succeed. A lot of people that were lined up to be in this movie didn't want to be a part of it because
they asked everybody.
Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, I don't like Adam Sandler."
Even people in the movie didn't like the humor.
And this like haunted him. Like Adam Sandler was like genuinely hurt by how Siskel and Ebert thought he was just a waste, and it was only Punch Drunk Love, I think, is when
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, and when the corner turned. And now you look at Adam Sandler, you're like, dude, he's a fantastic actor. I loved all these movies and never thought he was a bad actor, but I get it. Like, he's young and he's like silly and doobity-doo. You know, like I understand.
He is the best charming psychopath ever in movies because he can go from really funny and childish to screaming and then go back and you still love him regardless.
Yeah.
Is he the best screamer in all of like movie history?
God, he's up there.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, he just
like, because it goes so quickly. It's just like, there's a fuse that lights and he's just out there.
He's also got a brand and he doesn't mind carrying that brand from movie to movie to movie to movie.
No.
And it works, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
oh,
by
you
the
want to hear
way,
a crazy fact about it working?
Yes.
For every dollar that you pay Adam Sandler, if for a movie, hypothetically, his movies make $9.
That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
There's so many things about him that are likable. At the top of the list is this is a guy who moved to New York, Saturday Night Live. And
they didn't like him there either.
No, and he was with this like troupe of people.
Spade,
Farley, Apatow.
McDonald.
And he brought them with him on the journey.
Oh, yeah.
The loyalty that he has. And we joke about how, like, you know, you can do it. Like Rob Schneider, all these guys that he kept on putting
Kevin
in all
Nealon.
those movies.
Yeah.
I actually think that there's more than almost any other actor I can think of. There's almost part of me that loves his work just because of who he is as a real person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm just like, dude, he's like, he feels like he could be one of your buddies.
Yeah. He plays basketball. He wears ridiculously like teenage clothing.
Yeah.
He's married to one woman. I went to his comedy show last year in Detroit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It is still the same fart poop,
I love
like guitars.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just as being someone who's Jewish, and you and I usually don't dive into that very often because I eat bacon cheeseburgers, but it's not like I'm the most religious person in the world.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah. I know you're like, you can't eat bacon cheeseburgers. They're delicious. He did something that is monumental to me. He made being Jewish cool. The Hanukkah song, like like my whole childhood was like coveting. We covet what we see, Max.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get all Silence of the Lambs when I say covet. But every single Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, you know, cartoon, everything. Like there was never anything that I was like, oh, that awesome dreidel movie. Like there's nothing like that.
Yep.
And when he did the Hanukkah song, that became the national anthem for Jewish kids in the United States.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. And it changed everything, right?
Yeah. Tom Cruise isn't a Jew, but my mother thinks he is. Is he the
O.J. Simpson?
Yeah.
Not a Jew.
You just read my mind, by the way. Is he the coolest Jew to ever exist?
Yeah. Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is a cool dude.
That's true.
Mel Brooks is.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He is. So like.
But he was born 50.
Where Sandler's a little bit different is that the kind of the stereotypical, you know, like intellectual, non-athletic, right?
The Woody Allen,
like 105 pounds wet, couldn't be in
you
a fight.
call these bagels?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Right. Like Sandler was this
masculine,
athletic, played basketball, hung out with the guys.
Happy Gilmore.
He was,
could win a fight.
For me, I'm kind of like, he was like, the closest. I don't believe in role models when it comes to like superstars and athletes. I think it's such garbage. But I remember being like, all right, like I see a little bit of myself in him because I didn't feel like the other Jewish kids that I was around, right? I was playing sports, and eating bacon cheeseburgers and being inappropriate. The other, well, when we talk about the movie, we'll hop into this. I've got facts out the wazoo. So what do you want to do? You want to start naming a few? Charles Bronson was offered the role of Billy's father.
That's insane.
Mind blown. Like I can't even imagine. I know you know this, but I'll mention it anyways. He pulled bits from everything that he's done to put it in this movie. So when he wrote this movie, the studio, which I love hearing stories about the studios always trying to interfere with movies that inevitably turn out great. The studio wanted to rewrite and change everything that he was doing.
Yeah.
He basically was like, yeah, that's fine. And then when it came time to actually shoot the scenes, he reverted back to his original script.
I didn't know that.
Which confused the hell out of everyone. But he was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of this crap. We're keeping everything. He made this absolute pact and commitment when they wrote this script. He's like, we are not deviating from this. So the nonsense that you see is like, it's pure Sandler. It's unrelenting. Like,
the Swan.
Nobody was coming in there and saying, no, you can. So what Swan? What are you looking at, Swan? Shampoo is better. This is, I think I can say this is, in my childhood, my most quotable movie.
Yes.
I quote more from this movie. Even today.
Pee in your pants is cool.
How about like, that is correct? Like, I still say that to this day.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
Well, you know, that's not from
Airheads 2.
It's from Airheads.
Is Airheads before
Airheads
this?
also. There's no Airheads 2.
There should be.
Airheads was before this.
There should be an Airheads remake.
Airheads was like a year before this.
You're right, it's 94.
And you had Buscemi, Farley,
and Sandler.
Yeah.
And
so
Brendan Fraser.
You also, so just for those who don't know what we're talking about, the great, grand, wonderful. So in Airheads, Farley plays a cop.
Yeah.
And he has to go find the rock star's girlfriend, and they go into a rock bar, and they're like, yeah, she's wearing black leather pants and a black top. And every woman in there is wearing that. He's like, great, grand, wonderful.
Yeah.
And then when he's the bus driver in Billy Madison, he regurgitates that line as well, which is great.
Yeah. Speaking of Farley, I didn't know this. This makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
To maintain that like red face and kind of high energy, he would drink cups of espresso, like full cups of espresso before being on. And he did that in this movie and continued to do so for every movie after that.
The rage scene, by the way, that's what Dan Campbell does too. He has like a crazy
2 red-eye venties with 2 espresso.
I gotta stop talking about the Lions. By the way, forward down the mother scratching field. I'm gonna pause the show for a minute, Max. Sunday, I had the pleasure and the honor of going to the Lions' first hosted playoff game and first playoff victory in almost 30 years. I've never in my entire life had an experience like this. And now, because of Dallas peeing down their leg, I get to go to another playoff game in a couple days.
I just realized something. The Lions are kind of like Billy Madison, because for 27 years, they're doing nothing. You're still loving them. You're still like, you're bribing someone to win the high school spelling bee with rock.
No,
oh, there's an and finally he goes back to school, aka
back to school.
Dan Campbell.
Max, what you just said is absolute idiocy. You're awarded no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So, do you know that's actually a quote
from his Saturday Night Live?
From Chris, when Chris Farley would pitch ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're flying. We'll get to that. I have the whole thing on that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that in this movie, there's more things that crop, like the whole Sloppy Joe thing, right? Like
sloppy.
That's from his Lunch Lady song on his album.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
I hope you like Sloppy Joe's extra sloppy.
Fatty McGee.
I'm sorry. The bus driver rage scene where he's like, that was improv.
Yeah.
You mentioned him drinking the espresso, but that wasn't in script. He just did that.
Oh my God.
Amazingly funny.
Was the Gotten On improv?
I'm sorry?
Nat Veronica Vaughn.
I don't know.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. I have a whole quote section that we'll do as well.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff to cover. How about during the dodgeball scene, he actually made the kids cry.
So I can't believe they didn't get sued or anything. That like
it's the 90s.
Well,
nobody was suing in the 90s.
I guess he was throwing as hard as he could, right?
Yeah.
You're all in huge trouble.
I'm sure they were all compensated well. I'm not that worried.
I really don't think so.
You're totally Judas Priest, Barbara. It's one of those flaming bags again. I didn't even know about that prank until watching this movie. Like I had no clue that was even like a real thing.
Billy, what are you looking for? There's a giant piece of.
So this is pretty cool. The actual house that Billy Madison grew up in is called the Parkwood Estate. It's a very popular filming location. It's in Oshawa, Ontario. And it is the house of Professor Xavier's School for Exceptionally Gifted Children.
No way.
It's the same mansion.
In the new X-Men stuff?
No, in the 2000 X-Men. Yeah. That's not new.
I mean, there was version
23 years ago.
I'm thinking animated.
24 years ago? 24 years ago.
Yeah, but they've used it the entire time.
Just calm down.
Yeah.
Just calm yourself down right
It's
now.
great.
It is great. You're great.
I'd like to live there.
Grand, great, wonderful. Norm Macdonald, who is fantastic in this movie, when he's poolside and they're drinking, he was actually drunk. So he pounded an enormous amount of alcohol. And then like when he woke up, he's like, "Where's Billy?" Like he is actually drunk during those scenes.
I don't think that's a far stretch for him.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like R.I.P. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, he wasn't a complete human being. He was just funny.
The scene where Adam Sandler calls Danny McGrath, played by Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, man, like I did some pretty terrible things to you when I was younger, and I just wanted to apologize." And he crosses his name off the list and then puts the lipstick on. By the way, Adam Sandler has this incredible comedic timing. I assume he's behind this. You see it happen in The Waterboy as well.
I hate him.
And he's on the phone with grandma, and the phone isn't plugged into anything. It's that same type of like feel.
The pause.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's so
when he puts the lipstick
funny.
on.
Buscemi is a golden gem. Whether he was in Armageddon, The Sopranos, or Billy Madison, I've never seen anything he's in that I haven't been like, I like.
He shines most in Adam Sandler movies.
He is
Mr.
really
Deeds with the crazy eyes.
He's so good. Mr.
He's like,
Deeds.
"Ooh, bubblegum pizza."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
what about the confused breakfast theory that this is the same guy?
So I'll give a shout out. We love their podcast, the Confused Breakfast podcast.
Best theories.
Yeah. And is it their theory or did they find it or whatever?
They explained it right.
Give them credit, basically. Go ahead. Tell the whole theory.
So that Steve Buscemi's character in Billy Madison, he was going to kill people.
Yep.
Doesn't kill Billy.
Yep.
But he kills everybody else on that list.
Yes.
And then he changes his name and gets arrested in Con Air.
Yep.
Where he's the psycho killer that's killing everybody.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
At the end of Con Air,
when he escapes.
Yeah, he escapes. He's playing craps.
Mm-hmm.
And then you figure he escapes and he ends up in California during The Big Lebowski. Because if you notice, his name is Donnie in that. And his name in this movie is Danny. So like kind of similar.
It's close, yeah.
He's not wearing any bowling shirts that have his name on them.
Yeah.
So it's all different people's names. It's probably people that he killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I made
it's great.
I once made an argument that the movie Predator has been duplicated with the Detroit Lions. So I'm not one to argue on those types of things.
Yeah.
It's a huge stretch. Billy Madison is the closest character that Adam Sandler has ever played to actually who he is. So Adam Sandler says Billy Madison is the closest character to who he is, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Peter Pan syndrome. You're cut by that cloth. You're a Peter Pan syndrome guy.
I can't snap like he can, though.
No, but take that piece out of it. Like you are forever young.
Yeah.
You're.
But he's a center of attention.
Yeah, you're not like
young.
that.
Yeah,
you don't need that. Sandler
and he's hot.
You got the penguin suit. You look good.
Thank you.
This is a look for you.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Sandler actually in this movie, he's got a six pack. Like you see him like tanned
Dude,
enough.
he's in your 20s. You get a lot done in your 20s.
One of the things about Billy Madison is he gets away with a lot because he's good looking.
Sorry, when you're making a point and you're holding your flipper up, I can't stop laughing. Go ahead though.
When Juanita's just like all over him.
Oh my God.
Is she the funniest?
Housekeeper? She's so funny.
You can help me.
Do you want me to take my
armpits.
Do you want me to take my shirt off? Oh, honey, do you want me to take your shirt off? Take my shirt off?
I thought I was your snack pack.
That's again.
Oh God, I'll go to school.
That's the whole thing. And there are these moments where he like loses it and they leave it in.
Yeah.
So when he's doing the study session with Farley and Farley's like, they're like Spanish Armada. Yeah. And he's like, that is correct. And he whips his hair around. Adam Sandler's just laughing. Like it's just video of him laughing.
No, if you look at the chlorophyll scene at the end of that speech, he's just laughing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's great.
This girl's trying to make out with me.
I know.
You ever tried that move?
No. Yes, I've said
really?
it. I've never tried it as a move, but I've quoted it a million times. The original director was fired pretty quickly when they started shooting, and they brought in Davis after they loved her work on CB4, which we're doing a podcast on CB4, and I bet you've never seen it.
No, of course I have.
Okay. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's Chris Rock.
Yeah, it's great. All right, I didn't know. Straight out of low-cal.
Yeah. With this MFer named Gusto.
You got it. You know it.
Yeah.
Add a guy.
Yeah, I have some stuff about the director later that's so cool.
So the beginning of the movie when it's Nudie Magazine Day and he's going through the different magazines and the one that he loves is the Drunk Chicks magazine.
Yeah.
The girl on the cover of Drunk Chicks magazine was the director's assistant. She posed for that photo, which I think is like
there's like
funny to me.
There's a Granny's one.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of there's a
the Nudie Magazine era was wild.
Yeah. David Spade was considered for Frank, but I think that the studio got a little nervous as Adam Sandler kept on trying to bring more and more of his friends onto the shoot.
Eric was written for Bob Odenkirk.
And they were like, yeah, you're not bringing your boy over here.
Yeah, way to like I mean, he's
way
one
to
of the best.
kill one
Yeah.
would have been so funny. I
Oh,
know.
and you know Philip Seymour Hoffman auditioned for Eric?
Yeah.
And he got the part.
And
he was like, wait a second.
Yeah, he's like,
wait
I'm not
a
doing
second.
this. He would have been amazing.
He's, I mean, like in Along Came Polly.
I've just, when he falls.
Make it rain.
Yeah, remember when he fell
Yeah.
and they kept the scene, but he really ate it? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually, when he falls in that, like he actually fell. That
Yeah.
wasn't like scripted. They just kept it in there. Veronica Vaughn, here's a fact for you that I didn't know. So with Veronica Vaughn, this marks the first time that Adam Sandler's love interest has a VV name.
Okay.
Veronica Vaughn. Follow me on
Yep.
this. The others are Virginia Venett in Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
Vicky Valancourt
Yeah.
in The Waterboy.
Want me to stab them?
Valerie Vernon in Little Nicky. Violet Valentine in Hubby Halloween. And also there's a number of other ones that aren't double V's, but they're double letters as well. Like Lena Leonard in Punch Drunk Love, Babe Bennett in Mr. Deeds, Janine Johnson in Reign Over Me, Daisy Danby in Funny People, Mary McGarrigle in That's My Boy, which is an absurd movie, by the way.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
And then Courtney Clark in Sandy Wexler.
That's awesome.
Wexler.
He knows what the people want.
God, I can't speak today to save my life.
Like he knows that alliteration is just, you're going to remember Veronica Vaughn forever.
Oh, yeah, that has been said by me
Yeah.
infinite times. Anytime I would ever see an attractive woman from age like
That
12 until
Veronica.
that Veronica Vaughn.
Do you know she was only 20 when she did this?
I know.
Yeah.
And Sandler was 26.
Yeah.
So she didn't do anything else other than she was in Mortal Kombat.
Nope. There's one more.
What?
She was the daughter in Last Action Hero.
You're right.
Yeah.
God, good
So-
call.
That's the, and she was Miss Teen USA.
Yeah. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just didn't have like a huge acting
I will
career.
make an argument. The sexiest non-sexual scene of all time in movie history is her beating the crap out of him in the water
Yeah.
to inspire him.
Yeah.
There's something about it where you're just like, holy
Crap
crap.
for you. That's
No, doesn't that do it for you?
No, it's your
Don't I have a nice wreck?
while filming this movie, Adam Sandler was writing Happy Gilmore, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Incredible.
And towards the end of the film, he offered it to Tamara Davis, who was directing Billy Madison.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm good.
That's enough.
I think it's so, I can imagine it just being like a frat party.
Yeah.
The entire shooting of this film being
I'm
like
sure
a frat
everyone was
party.
wasted.
I don't know that other people see this the way I do, but when I see things that are like tips of the hats to my favorite movie, I know exactly what it is. When he's up in front of the school giving his speech about the Industrial Revolution and the dog named
That was
Happy,
a revolution.
and at the end of it, it's dead, and he goes, "Nib High School Football Rules."
Yep.
As an absolute tip of the hat to
Yeah.
San Dimas High School Football Rules from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And also The Godfather, too.
I knew it
I
was
knew it was
you.
you.
And
And
when
it
he
breaks,
kissed him,
breaks my
it's
heart.
amazing.
Slaps him.
It's great. Oh, is it going to be a soccer player? That's another one all the time. Every single one of my friends, even my wife, anyone who got pregnant, when
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're pregnant, I'd be like, oh, he's going to be a soccer player. Look at him kick. Like that's just used all the time, these quotes.
So you got to remember, too, fourth wall breaking really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like in Ferris Bueller, maybe, and I can't really think of any others
Right.
before that.
Yeah.
When he's on the stairs and I'll Tumble For You starts
I'll
playing,
tumble
and he
for
just starts
you.
looking up like it's like playing out of nowhere.
I don't know that that's a fourth wall break.
Okay, well, Don't I Have a Nice Rack? He looks at the camera and nods.
I don't. Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah. Or the clown that says, like, don't you think that I was dead?
You're skipping ahead to all these wonderful things. That
Well,
I
I'm saying
have
fourth
listed.
wall breaking.
Confused it all.
Or like just smart random things like the woman who's the tour guide.
Yeah.
She's like, horseshoes. What about horse socks? Is anyone listening? It was that damn Sasquatch.
That damn Sasquatch.
Yeah.
That's another great one too. Jim Carrey was considered for the role of Eric Gordon, but had to decline because he was filming Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
He would have been perfect.
He would.
Although Bradley Whitford has
He
one of
was
the most
great.
punchable faces.
He was great.
I mean, he's all time.
Listen to this: Dustin Hoffman, Richard Dreyfuss, and Jack Nicholson were considered for the role of Brian Madison.
Yeah, I'm sure they were, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, I consider.
Hold on. This is even better.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Bill Murray were offered the role of Carl.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having like that, almost that like, I don't even know, passing of the baton?
Do you think Bill Murray would play it like Carl Spackler?
I know, that'd be great.
Just come in like, we're doing
Be
this.
a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't fit as well. Jeff Daniels was asked to play Eric Gordon as well, but at the same time, he was offered the role with Dumb and Dumber. Now, this is kind of interesting. Dumb and Dumber was done by New Line Cinema.
Yep.
New Line Cinema only offered to pay him $50,000 in hopes that he would decline the movie and to go to Universal to do this movie. Because remember, I believe Jim Carrey had to fight for Jeff Daniels to get that
I remember
role.
that. Yeah.
So they lowballed him, but he ended up doing it. I think, right? Like there was a definitive. I mean, if you had to pick, you'd obviously go Dumb and Dumber, right?
For Jeff Daniels and his career,
okay.
100%. Because it showed he could do that stuff.
Yeah, he would have had. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm making it more complicated than it probably needs to be. Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, and Tim Robbins were all offered the role of Eric
everyone
Gordon
from SNL,
well.
basically. Yeah.
Facts. What else you got? Because if you give me a couple more facts, I want to go into the just scene by scene, but a quick scene by scene.
Yeah, I thought this is really cool. John Candy was considered for Max.
Except he passed away.
Yep. This kind of bummed me out. Leslie Nielsen was offered the role of Brian, the dad.
He didn't want it.
He didn't like the humor.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're going to highbrow it?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Frank Drebin, Police Squad. It's impressive.
Surely you can't be serious.
It's an impressive bust. Why, thank you. I just had it. No, Lovely Beaver. Thank you. I just had it stuffed yesterday. Like I just
yeah, it's the same humor.
I know.
The 20 categories listed during the final stage of the academic decathlon.
It was like my wife is a cheating whore.
Yeah, the other my wife the tramp, baking, burning dog poo, and the human response. And Billy Madison's like, yes. And I married a common street trash.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lose it. I'm just going to snap. Actually, no.
He's great in this.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting? He says, if anyone even tries to cheat, especially with my wife, I'm just going to snap. So he doesn't say that cheating's illegal.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
Yeah, which is good because I remember Billy with the shoe in the chemistry set, right?
Yes.
That's cheating.
Is that cheating? Why would that be cheating?
Because it was from his foot.
Well, we don't know that. You're
saying he came with one foot?
The full quote on this I've used before.
Yeah.
I used this with you. I think on our previous podcast. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
A simple no would have been fine.
No, a simple wrong would have done just fine. That's so great, man.
It is.
You want to hop into the movie?
Sure.
All right, Max. Let's start at the beginning.
The party scene.
We start off like he's literally poolside, and he's like sunblock. Like
I love rich people problems, and also like rich people bet premises, like trading places, blank check, Richie Rich, like rich people who are doing things that don't really matter, but like they matter to them.
I think that what's fun about this is that it almost doesn't make sense. He's got these two best friends that look like they're 30 years older than he is. He's laying in the pool having a conversation about, sunblock, the UVs, and putting it all on himself. He's wasted. Yeah. He realizes, he's like, what day is it? And they're like, October. And he's like, oh, Nudie Magazine Day. He runs to the front yard like drunk. The gardener's there. He almost runs him over in the golf cart. Gets the Nudie magazines. That's where we get the first taste of the penguin, which was, if you're watching this movie and you're watching all this unfold, you're just like, who? It's almost like inconceivable that you'd be that drunk that you'd see a penguin, but it all fits and makes sense. It's just Sandler being Sandler. It
does.
He's just cooking.
He's lovable.
He's cooking. He's cooking. So then we move to the long day. He hops into the shower, or excuse me, into the bath. Shampoo is better, but conditioner, and then
stop looking at me, Swan.
The faucet is a swan.
Yeah,
and he just yells, "Stop looking at me, Swan." That's another quote that gets used all the time. So the family dinner is going on. His father is about to reveal that he wants his son to take over, the Madison Empire. He can't even make it down to dinner on time. He finally gets down there. He's eating soup.
Pretends, yeah.
It's also funny to me that Brantley Whitford.
Yeah, Bradley Whitford.
Bradley. I'm thinking of Brantley from Secret to My Success, Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Bradley Whitford is making faces at him, and he just starts speaking gibberish.
Yeah. No gibberish at the table.
Right? So he's excused from the table. He goes off with his friends. They start collecting poop. The funniest line of that is, I'll just have to bleep it out. He called this poop. The old guy that comes out there is also hilarious. I think I quoted him earlier when he's like, Judas Priest, Barbara, it's one of them flaming bags again. And you hear his wife in the background, don't put it out with your boots. Yeah. And he's like, don't tell me my business, devil woman. It's so absurd. Again, like if there's just absurdity, you can't go more than 10 seconds of this movie without something ridiculous.
The director couldn't believe they got the guy to go in his underwear.
Oh, yeah. It was perfect. It was perfect. So this happens. They get back to the house. Bradley's trying to con Billy Madison's dad, Brian Madison, into giving him the empire. You have this moment. He's
right though.
Oh, for sure.
He's like, you have 650 hotels, by the way, which is more than if you own Marriott, Hilton, or anything else in the U.S. So he's like the hotel magnate.
So now you have your inflection point where you get put on your journey.
Yeah.
So the journey is because Billy all of a sudden cares, and he's like, well, I want to...
Did you just come up with this yourself? Yes, I did, Daddy.
Yeah, I did. So you have the bet, and he's got to pass all these different levels of school. And then you cut to the snack pack. Like, I'm gonna bring this up a few times as I go through this. I think the reason that this movie works so well, and you're gonna hear me bring this up, I'll do it shorter. This will be my longest time I bring it up. I think the reason this movie works so well is because Sandler does an amazing job of making you remember these different points in your life. So even starting with the snack pack, when you're a kindergartner or a first grader, that is gold.
Yeah.
Like the snack pack, like a pudding, a dessert, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It is literally the most important thing in the world. You go to lunch, there's a kid across from you, you're eating a banana, he's got a snack pack. You're like, what in the hell is wrong with my mom?
My mom sucks.
And so Sandler's mom was a preschool teacher.
Nursery
school teacher. This is her favorite movie.
Well, because at the end he wants to be a teacher.
And even Miss Libby. So he starts off in first grade.
Miss Libby's awesome.
But Miss Libby was it kindergarten? Was Miss Libby the kindergarten teacher or first grade? I can't remember.
The first class he was in.
First class he was in is Miss Libby.
Putting paste on her face.
They do such a great job tying into all the feels and the member berries of what it's like, because you know what? When you're in kindergarten and first grade, there is nothing but like, hi friends, we love you friends. This is our place to love each other.
You just want to see a blue duck.
You're lying on a carpet with all your friends laying on top of you, napping. Like you're eating paste. All of the things that he did. It's so accurate. And then while he's creating and painting this accurate picture, he's then throwing in absurdity. Like him after she reads the book about the little dog.
You find that effing dog.
You find the effing dog. You don't just give up. Like, and that the juxtaposition of those two things is what makes this so funny. And he does it through every grade. And that's, to me, the best part of the movie. So as he's going through kindergarten, he meets Miss Libby, who also, by the way, like every single, you don't have kids, you would notice this.
Every single first grader?
No, but
teacher.
every single, there's always a kindergarten, first or second grade teacher in that kind of grouping that is like a weird hippy dippy, burning incense, dancing, belly dancing, putting paste on her face. It is the most accurate thing in the world. That's just that's like,
the coolest teacher, right?
The best. The best. The one you remember forever. Everybody, nobody walks out of kindergarten saying, I hate my kindergarten teacher. So
Ms. Ward for me, shout out.
Right. So he does the banana for the snack pack I told you about, the art project, he's eating the glue, the fart noise, right? When all the kids start laughing. That's like, it's so innocent and cute. And that's exactly what we would do when we were in like first grade, right? And the teacher wouldn't care because it's not time to be a serious person. It's time to be like a little kid.
Do you want to be back in first grade?
I kind of do.
I was going to say.
I miss it. I miss it.
Do you want to have a Billy Madison contest? You have enough money, you could bribe somebody.
I probably could. The milk with Veronica Vaughn. Oh, do you want some milk? It could be all for you. And then sideburns.
How about you, sideburns?
Well, and
I'd rather have a beer.
And you know, he does that again, the sideburns thing in Wedding Singer with Table 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, look, how about you, sideburns? Like, I love the throwbacks he does.
Billy
in all
likes
movies.
soda. Miss Libby's card is blue.
The end of his first year in school when he draws a blue duck and he gets so serious and he goes, I drew the duck blue because I've never seen a blue duck.
I just wanted to see a blue duck.
And then she's like, you pass. And he's like, whoa, what's Mr. Duck think about it? That's quacktastic.
I want to get a blue duck tattooed on me.
You should get that tattoo.
Well, that duck sucks.
No, you should get that duck.
Look it up. It's really bad.
Whatever. You've got sucky tattoos. You're fine.
It's so bad.
So you see the first party. So after he passes each grade.
These parties are epic.
Unbelievable.
By the way, is the third grade rock and roll band the coolest like 80s band ever?
Billy passed the third grade.
The Billy Madison way.
It's
yes.
amazing.
And I'm all excited.
So in the first party, they get the clown on stilts that gets knocked over and his skull breaks and there's like blood dripping from it.
And his friend's spraying one kid with a hose just for no reason.
Dude, it's this infusion of like regular hilarity, normal age appropriate jokes, and then like Sandlerism.
And Sandler with the water, the fountain up his butt. He's like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Like that's what kids did.
That's what kids you nailed it.
Yeah.
That's what kids did. Exactly.
That's what I still do in jacuzzis.
So he moves into
second grade.
Second grade, yeah, that's usually what follows first grade, right?
It's gonna be hard.
This is another moment. Nope, that's not. Third grade this is going to be hard.
Yeah.
This is where he goes right into the spelling bee.
Oh yeah,
Max, I vividly remember doing this when we were asked to spell things, and she's like couch, and she's like couch, C-O-R-R. And she's like, no, are you going to the mall later? No, Billy, I'm not going to the mall later. But that is something that we used to do when we were asked to spell things. And we would like try to like trick to find out what the right letter was.
What you did, maybe.
I know. But
I was there for the game.
Watching him do it.
Yeah. I'm the smartest
As
man
an adult,
alive.
yeah, when he wins the spelling bee, it's great. So he moves on to third grade. That's where he meets Ernie.
Cursive?
Yeah.
Social studies?
Yeah.
This is going to be hard.
Yeah, and him and Ernie become friends.
Ernie's cool.
Oh, and
Good actor.
His flirting with and like
Jackpot.
everything with Veronica Vaughn and her lack of tolerance for it, like pulling him by the ear.
Yeah. I
And
can't
he's
hear
like,
you
I can't hear you because you hurt my ear.
ear.
So he gets the cursive part. And I should even go back when they're all reading out loud. Like, I remember kids just getting crucified for not being, if they stuttered or if they couldn't read.
That's like the meanest point of this movie.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's important because it does show this journey that he goes through from being, he was basically O'Doyle, right? And then he turns from O'Doyle to like.
We haven't talked about O'Doyle at all.
We're going to.
O'Doyle rules.
So he's in the classroom.
There's too many things.
There's too many things to talk about. You're so true.
Too many chefs.
Too many chefs. Too many. No, it's too many cooks.
Yeah, you're right.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks. He's in the classroom. And she kind of humiliates him. Like, by the way, I don't think I can draw a cursive Z either. So that's not.
It's a like upper, lower, and then a
too hard for me.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to go back to school, and the maid's like, "Oh, you can stay home with me, and we can
shit my armpit." His reaction, "Oh God, I'll go to school."
I'll go to school. But he's also laughing. It just watching you drink your water with your penguin hands is incredible. So, anyways, goes to school. He can't do cursive. We talked about that.
How about Buzz?
So this is the part two. And I told you I'd mention this when it happens. I absolutely, vividly remember passing notes in third and fourth grade, getting busted passing a note, and the teacher would read your note in front of the whole class.
This mean?
It is the most like hit me in the memories. I'm like, that actually, and I remember watching this movie when it came out and being like, this is exactly what elementary school is like. Today that would never fly because everybody's so, delicate and you can't upset people. But that's what teachers would do. And this is where Adam Sandler is brilliant. He takes something that's real and happens, but then feathers in the Adam Sandler joke part to it, which is the note itself, which says, "We're so lucky to have Principal Anderson substituting."
And he's so happy.
Now we have the privilege of staring at that tub of lard all day long. If I was him, I'd walk my fat ass into oncoming traffic. That is not what a third grader would write.
No.
And this is where it's the hilarity that he brings to the scene.
It's so good.
The Valentine's Day cards.
Yeah. With
all the little girls swooning.
That's totally
over
what
them.
happened.
I remember the little brown lunch bags, and you tape them to the edge of your desk, and everybody would.
It was a big deal.
You probably got none, but I got quite a few.
I didn't get very many.
Yeah, I got a lot.
Yeah,
the chicks dug me when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, it was
those flowing curls.
It was beautiful when I had a full head of hair and a heart full of love. Neither of those things exist today. The calling Veronica Vaughn. Having Ernie make the call.
Frank,
Max, tell me that this isn't like your childhood, right? Having your buddy be like, see if she likes me. Does she like anyone in the class? Yeah, you blew it. Do it.
So also, his kitchen was one of the coolest things ever. He always had like snacks out.
Yeah.
I saw them. I've never seen this movie before. They had an open can of peanut butter with four Butterfingers in there. Have you done that?
No, but it looks good.
Yeah.
All right.
Just small details.
I love that you picked that up from the movie.
I don't know. It looks awesome.
The bus trip. When they're all getting on the bus, this is where you're introduced to Farley, who's absolutely brilliant in this movie, right? I know we talked about it
he's
earlier.
on screen for like maybe 4 minutes and you remember forever.
Yeah. I totally remember this. Again, today this would be considered assault, but back then it was normal. Like, I dare you to touch Miss Vaughn's boob.
Yeah.
And he's like,
she's totally cool about it.
They call that assault, brother.
Yeah.
And he like falls into her. Yeah. It's great.
So once in a while I say that's assault, brother, and I go, where's that from? Because it doesn't sound like Sandler, but it is.
So they go on the field trip. This is where you get the introduction to Farley, who's hilarious. This is also when you get the Ernie pees his pants.
Goo!
This is an important scene because this is where Veronica Vaughn sees the heart and the soul of Billy Madison. She falls in love, which is totally normal to fall in love with your student. And
it happens a lot.
It does. They're getting back on the bus, and Farley kind of looks up Veronica Vaughn's skirt when she walks up there. And this is probably the most quoted part of the entire movie.
You think so?
For me.
Yeah.
I have said this every single time my entire life that I've ever met an attractive woman. I've said this.
You did miss,
Not
if,
to her,
if peeing
mostly
your
to my
pants is
friends.
cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Which is funny. That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude, if you know what I mean.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Well, not me personally, but a guy I know, him and her got it on.
That's
Woo! This I will use.
It's like it's the motivational speaker movement.
Yeah. Oh man. And then no, they didn't. No, they didn't. But you can imagine what it would be like if they did, huh? Right. Everybody on. Good, great, wonderful.
You missed, by the way. Who steals 30 bag lunches and they're just mowing them down? How did they find the field trip?
I love when you ask these like insane questions that mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like, who knows, Max? They just found it. Maybe they were visiting the same day.
No, that's the name of my biography. Insane questions that mean nothing.
You have so many good biography titles. Tuttle from Tacoma. Tom Tuttle.
Yeah.
That's from Volunteers, right?
Yeah, it is.
Man,
although Tuttle's a fat guy in American Dad.
Yeah. So they get back, and the next scene, you've got the making out with Veronica. They're going to the party. And
Carl, good to see you.
And Carl interrupts, which is great.
By the way, with a 9-iron and ice cubes, I think I know what he wanted to do.
All right, I don't want to know.
Okay.
You're a weirdo.
No, it's reasonable.
You're good. Sloppy Joe scene.
The buffalo, I don't know.
Yeah, the Sloppy Joe scene stuff.
Preferably stuff.
Yeah, it's the Sloppy Joe scene. I hope you like you boys like them extra sloppy. So Bradley,
Lady, you're scaring us.
Bradley corners the revolting blob.
Yeah.
I just, of all of the ways that you could create and develop the antagonist in this movie, the fact that he leverages the principal who has a secret life as a what's the name of those wrestlers? Luca. There's like a term
Lucha Libre.
No, that's the movie.
Nacho Libre.
Yeah, Nacho, whatever it is. That type of wrestling. The fact that he had this like secret life doing it was too much to me.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too.
Yeah.
So
he killed a guy. He was supposed to pinch me. I know. Give him for air.
So then Billy pulls up to the high school, and he pulls up in a Firebird,
wearing an REO Speedwagon shirt and a jean jacket.
And what's the movie what's the song that's blasting?
I think it's Stroke Me, right?
Yeah, Stroke Me. It's not Stroke Me.
It's something like that.
It's called Stroke by Yes.
It's awesome.
But I don't think it's called Stroke Me.
Like
I like that it's called Stroke Me.
I think he looks like the coolest guy on the face of the earth.
Billy Squire, The Stroke. That's what it's called. I knew I had it written down somewhere.
Cool.
And then you go to this I did quote all the time in high school. Chlorophyll, more like borophyll. And I just remember like being in chemistry and we were all saying like chlorophyll, more like borophyll. So good. So he has this horrible experience in high school, right? Gets another O'Doyle rules. There's been
manure in his locker.
The first one, what was the first one? It was the little kid. Was dodgeball. He got out by dodgeball by O'Doyle rules.
Yep.
He then had
I forget what the middle one did, but the manure in the locker.
The manure in the locker and then the cream pudding on the head.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that O'Doyle as well?
Yep.
So, yes, that happened first with O'Doyle. Then the last one is the manure, because that's when he said, I don't have time for this.
Oh, yeah,
I got a feeling all you O'Doyles are going down. But after that happens, he leaves. He goes to visit Veronica, and he's like, I hate high school. It's the worst. And she's like, it's okay. Don't worry. But this leads to, I think this is the best scene in the whole movie.
Which one?
When she basically says, did you think about how you treated people in high school? Again, there's this moment of humanity where you're like, all right, this is pretty cool. And then he makes the phone call to Danny McGrath.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, is this Danny McGrath? And it's Buscemi laying on a couch. He goes, yeah. He goes, this is Billy Madison. We went to high school together. I didn't treat you the way I should have when we were in high school. And I wanted to apologize. For me, somewhat of an ex-high school bully, I wasn't terrible, but I had moments. Like, I've had those moments. I've made those calls.
Really?
100%.
Don't people hate that?
You know, I think some people appreciate it. I think the one guy in particular that I reached out to, like, I had to reach out a lot of different times and he never answered it. And then finally he answered it and it was kind of weird, but I didn't care. I bumped into him first, like grocery shopping, and he wouldn't even make eye contact.
You're like, I could still take you, bro.
He didn't even make eye contact with me. And Max, this is like 20 some years post high school, but I was rough on this kid. Although he deserved it. But
anyways, tape his butt cheeks together?
No, I didn't pull a Breakfast Club. But
what'd you do?
I'd rather not say in case he's listening or someone knows him and I don't want to embarrass him. But I was rough on him.
Okay.
But he did not take my gracious apology all that well. Others have. I have a long list. Just a handful of people that probably need a good apology from me.
You want to be scratched off that kill list?
Look, there's 2 groups that need apologies from me: ex-girlfriends and a handful of guys from high school. So the ex-girlfriends all seem okay, but the guys from high school, not so much.
Yeah,
not so much.
I don't need to.
You have got some people to apologize to.
No, I know. They dated bartender. They knew it.
You've got some people you need to apologize. You're a horrible human being.
Yeah, but they learned from me.
Not guys, but like you've got women that you dated that need apologies.
Yeah,
big time, buddy.
Yeah,
I am aware of 4 that need a formal written apology from you. Just FYI,
dearest Shoshana.
Yes. It is I, Maximilian.
A fortnight ago,
you might remember me from such films as I Ruined Your College Experience.
Wrecking Your Car.
Hey, I stole all the money out of your wallet, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry. You didn't like that. That hit too close to home.
No, I've never done that.
Never. It's not that this is making you uncomfortable. It's that you're in a penguin costume while it's making you uncomfortable that makes it so good. All right. Anyways.
Do you know who directed this movie?
No, I don't. All right. Where are we?
Steve Buscemi called him.
Yes. And he ends up scratching all the names off the list, which is great.
No, he doesn't. Just his.
Yeah.
He's still going to kill other people.
You're right.
He keeps the gun.
I think I told you all the names on the list were the crew from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 other names.
8 other names.
Yeah.
The killers. So the principal lies and stop doing that with your penguin hands. The principal lies and goes on TV and says that he's been taking bribes, and Billy loses his mind. And as a result of this, gets so wasted that he makes his way over to Veronica's house, where he's like, "Oh, there's no hope for me. I can't do it." And then all of a sudden he sees the penguin and goes, "Oh, I see how it is." And the penguin's got a cigar and a cocktail in his hand. Proceed. Another thing I say all the time. So Billy passes out by the pool. The scene that you think is like the hottest scene ever.
She beats him up.
And then they break into a song.
Don't I have a nice...
Yeah. The best part of that song is the clown part.
Yeah.
Like, it's me. I bet you thought I was dead.
Yeah.
That whole scene.
It's a good song.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
And it comes out of nowhere.
You don't like it?
I love it. There's nothing in the movie that would make you think that you were going to have like a song and dance.
We're here
part of
to help you, Billy. It's a really like swelling song.
It's just absurd. And then in the absurd song, would you like a piece of gum, of gum, of gum?
Do you have any more gum?
It's unbelievable.
Then they decide to have a decathlon.
Nope. First, the kids get Mr. Anderson to retract his lie.
Yep.
Mr. Anderson.
Same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy. That's my fan theory. Is that he was in the Matrix the whole time.
He was so horny he became Keanu Reeves.
Jesus. So they do they've got everything discovered, and he was robbed of his opportunity. So his dad's like, well, we can fix this. And of course, Bradley's like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a contract. So they do the academic decathlon. You have the kiss from The Godfather where Billy.
I knew it was you.
Yeah. You broke my heart. And then we go to the Veronica Vaughn. This is the classic
1468.
This is the classic studying for the big exam, right?
Yeah.
This is the back to school Rodney Dangerfield. This is like, the Revenge of the Nerds.
This kind of does have a back to school feel to it.
Oh my God, yes.
Like,
absolutely.
what are our favorite movies? It's when someone goes back to school.
I know. Well, not just that, but like when there's that like last minute push to like pass the exam.
They need to create a new one of this. Like
the thing about like
even what's it called? 21 Jump Street. Like every 10 years, do this.
Remember in Revenge of the Nerds when they had the decathlon to be represented by
the tricycle.
The
burping contest.
And the burping and everything. And then you've got back to school. They've got the studying for the big exam because he was accused of cheating.
Yeah.
Actually, this kind of lifted right from that now that I think about it.
So if it's not broken, I'm outraged.
I'm outraged. Philip Bombay.
Why does he say his own name?
I don't know. But it sounds great saying his name.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
he just loves saying it.
It's unbelievable. What's his name? What's Rodney Dangerfield's character's name in Back to School again?
Thornton Mellon?
Yes, Thornton Mellon. God. So then the Veronica Vaughn is tutoring him, and she's like taking her clothes off.
1986.
For the love of God. And then you get Farley doing it. Yeah. That is correct. And he whips his hair and does the little, And then you get to the academic decathlon, which...
to sleep. No more. That guy's balls are weird.
I know. I'm just trying to think of anything else. I mean, that's basically the movie, right?
We went detailed.
We went very detailed.
We haven't talked about the characters or director at all.
Jesus Christ. I was like, that's reasonable on timing.
Oh, by the way, I love that Eric at the end is at the graduation. He wasn't arrested or anything.
Well, there's not a single police officer in any scene in the entire movie.
That's what I want from my movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
cops. Yeah.
We don't want no cops. All right, Max. I mean, go to characters.
So the director is the coolest woman ever, maybe. So her name's Tamara Davis. She made music videos for Tone Loc, Depeche Mode, Indigo Girls, NWA. Hanson, she did Mbop, Sonic Youth. And like you said, she did CB4. She also did Half Baked.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah. So keeps going. She did Crossroads, the Britney Spears movie.
Yeah.
And do you know who she was married to?
Who?
They're separated now. She was married to Mike D from the Beastie Boys.
That's incredible.
That's like the coolest woman ever.
Yeah, she is pretty
I want
cool.
her on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try to get her.
Okay, cool.
Go to work.
So the writer, it's Adam Sandler, and this guy, Tim Harrelly.
Yeah.
It's like Sandler's guy. He does Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Waterboy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds, Grown Ups 2, Pixels, The Ridiculous Six, Hubie Halloween. And that's all he does is the Adam Sandler movies.
I mean, why, if it ain't broke, why?
Yeah, exactly. You know? And we've talked about Sandler a bunch, but I thought it was really cool. I didn't know this. He was supposed to be Max in Collateral.
Really?
That would have been really good.
What was the movie that he was in where he was an informant? Adam Sandler. It was like an action film and
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Did you like Bulletproof?
I love Bulletproof.
Right,
Him and Damon Wayans in the weird motel.
That's what it was. Yeah.
He's Moses. And this is a really cool fact. He lives in Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell's old house.
Really?
They went to a party there.
Sandler
and his wife.
Okay.
Yeah. They went to a party there, like a holiday party.
Yeah.
And they loved it so much when it got put up for sale, they bought it.
There you go.
So there you go. Royalty being royalty getting royalty's
Just
house.
calm down, Mr. Penguin.
I got excited. He can speak Hebrew, which is cool.
Yeah.
And he's a Russian Jew, and he was considered for Willy Wonka.
Did you watch that movie that his daughter was in about getting bat mitzvah?
I haven't yet.
My wife and my kids said it was amazing.
Okay, I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it.
So
yeah.
I'm so bummed out. His new movie, Spaceman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird sci-fi movie where he's in space by himself and his wife is pregnant at home, and he starts to like hallucinate, or there's an alien helping him, and the alien's played by Paul Dano.
Okay.
But the alien's form in the movie is a 10-foot spider that's alone with him on the ship.
Okay.
So I can't watch it.
Why?
I hate spiders.
You'll be fine. Suck it up.
Okay.
Problem resolved.
Suck it up. Okay. Brian Madison was played by Darren McGavin, who was also Old Man Parker in Christmas Story.
Yep.
Yeah. Bridget Wilson, who is Veronica Vaughn.
Not Brigitte Nielsen.
No. Do you know who she's married to?
Pete Sampras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like the ultimate tennis wife. She's really cool. She's in this awesome movie that's underrated. Have you ever seen Love Stinks? It's the squinty guy from Third Rock from the Sun.
Okay.
And they just hate each other and they're in a marriage, but they can't get out because
I've never even heard of it.
It's hilarious.
I know the song Love Stinks.
Yeah. And she was in The Wedding Planner and Mortal Kombat Sonya Blade and not much else. Bradley Whitford, who I love because of West Wing.
West Wing, yeah.
Yeah, he's Josh Lyman. But he's done a ton of good stuff. Adventures in Babysitting, he's Mike.
I was going to say, so
the
cool,
ultimate jock.
Cool? No, so cool or too cool? What was his license plate?
Too cool.
Too cool. That's right. Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds 2, he's Roger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really hateable. He's in Young Guns 2. Son of a Woman, he's really good. Remember
he's the brother.
Yeah, and he's like actually like Al Pacino.
He was great.
You're awful. Yeah. He's in RoboCop 3. I didn't even know this for RoboCop 3.
Oh yeah, RoboCop 3 is terrible.
Yeah, is he in it?
I don't remember him being in it. I vaguely remember it was like they go like under siege and RoboCop gets like wings.
Yeah,
and flies.
Cool.
And it's not what's his face that in RoboCop 3.
Oh, it's not Peter Weller?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I'm like 99% sure it's not him.
And his most famous like now role in Get Out, he's the dad.
Yes.
Yeah, I voted for Obama.
Yeah.
Josh Mostel, who's Principal Max Anderson. I mean, he's basically like a Wayne.
He's an opera singer, right? Did you read that fact? I think he's a soprano or he's like an opera singer. Yeah.
Oh, cool. He's like Wayne Knight's knockoff.
Okay.
You know who Wayne Knight is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ted Knight's brother.
No. Newman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's in The Money Pit. He was in Wall Street.
Good,
Basketball Diaries. Norm Macdonald's in Dirty Work.
Yeah.
Larry Hankin, who's Carl, is in a ton of stuff. He was Old Joe in Breaking Bad.
He hated this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
It's kind of a bummer. Well, he gave some props to Adam Sandler. He just said he didn't like this movie.
Yeah. But he was in Armed and Dangerous, Planes, Trains, and Automobile. She's having a baby.
Oh, she's having a baby. Sorry. I got to sing that song.
Oh, my favorite thing is he was in 3 episodes of Jake and the Fat Man. What were TV executives in the 80s doing?
Hey, it was a different time.
It was. He's a landlord in Pretty Woman, and in Home Alone, he's Officer Balzark, and he's a preacher in Vegas Vacation.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
that's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Max, I think we've just gone through the entire movie, which is...
You can do it.
You can do it all night long, which means that we are ready to go to the Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. Max, this week's Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight is massive supporter and friend of the show, Tony Huddleston Jr., who, if I'm not mistaken, when he got wind that we were doing Billy Madison, insisted that he be the Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight as a birthday gift. Correct?
It was, yeah.
So huge shout out to Tony. He is just positive affirmation. Like,
yeah, he sent me a picture of him in a White Ranger from Power Rangers and a helmet, just randomly.
Just a huge supporter of the show. Like, always, I mean, for 3 years now, right? He's been with us the whole ride. And I'm always excited to hear what he has to say. And because we're on video now, he will be our video Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. So, Max, you ready for this magic? This is a diddle-doo-diddle-doo-diddle-doo. With that, let's hear what Tony had to say.
Hey, Mo and Max. How's it going, guys? It's Tony Huddleston Jr. coming back again. Be this week's Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. Listen, I really appreciate it. I mean, it's being the week of my birthday. This has been the best birthday present ever. I was asked to talk about the 1995 Adam Sandler classic, Billy Madison. I love this movie. You got Adam Sandler, you know, playing the titular Billy Madison, and Darren McGavin, who is the old man from A Christmas Story. Awesome pick. Awesome choice. Then you got Veronica Vaughn. So hot. Want to touch the hiney. You got your few appearances. Steve Buscemi down in there. Norm Macdonald, Chris Farley, the bus driver. It is hilarious. Been a while since I watched it, so I had to brush up on it a little bit and still laugh a minute. If you haven't seen the movie, why? Where have you been, under a rock? Go watch it. Again, it's Tony Huddleston Jr. back again. Be the fan spotlight. Mo, Max. I'll holler at you down the road. Thanks again, fellas.
So hot.
Want to touch the hiney.
Comes as no shock that he is giving me my new favorite line, which is, if you haven't seen this movie, why not?
Yeah, why?
Tony, thank you for an amazing spotlight. And I mean, I agree. This is the 90s.
Yeah, it's so great.
So hot.
Penguins everywhere.
Penguins everywhere. Max, that concludes the show. A reminder, follow, subscribe on any podcast platform. Especially YouTube. At Buzzn The Tower, Buzzn The Tower. Social media, TikTok, Instagram, all those wonderful things as well. At Buzzn The Tower. Patreon.com/Buzzn The Tower, where you can help support the show. Penguin outfits aren't cheap. They cost quite a bit of money. We need that dollars to get that rolling. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I don't think so.
All right. What are we doing next week? Have we even talked about what we're doing next week?
No.
We better get to work on that.
How about Terminator 2?
No. It's a little scary for you, I know. It's too serious.
They're all dead. You're all dead.
Oh, Jesus, man.
One-handed push-ups or pull-ups?
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton does something for me in that movie.
I'm not surprised by that at
I
all.
like angry women.
Max, before we go down a weird path, which we always do with you, how do you want to end the show? What do you got to say?
Oh, God. What's the best Sandler? I mean, okay, hypothetically, would you rather sleep with Meg Ryan or Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Now
or Jack Nicholson?
1974.
It's good.
1974.
That's good.
Meg Ryan.
It's good. I like that. I will finish with it's not my favorite. I'll finish it. And they got it on. Woo!